This is for the week 4 case study for the Senate seat for sale. And we had to answer 6 questions. The first question being identify at least 3 unhealthy motivations the governor may have had in this case. And we identified greed, power, and selfish political agenda. So for greed, it was obvious that Blagojevich wanted to sell the seat for money. The money that he was making as governor wasn't enough, and he wanted more. It also said that he wanted to make more money in private industry, so he was trying to bribe the owners of multiple companies. He also wanted his spouse to have a higher paying position, and he was using bribery to try to get that as well. For power, he wanted to have more power and a higher position, and selfish political agenda. He basically wanted his family to have more money and also, like I was saying, just to have more power and to be more influential in politics. And he did not care about the state of Illinois.
Yeah. Question 2 asked, identify at least 2 faulty assumptions the governor may have had. And as a group, we discussed one, that he had the assumption that he could get away with whatever he was doing, whether that was selling the seats or bribing third-party people. He thought that he could get away with it and not get caught. And second, another assumption that he had was that what he was doing was okay. And whether that meant that he really thought it was okay and ethical to bribe these people or to manipulate his way through the political agenda, he really did believe that some of the things he was doing was all right. It says that he claimed that many of his taped comments were taken out of context, and he appeared on a number of talk shows to defend himself. So although what he was doing was wrong, he didn't always think that.
So question 3 asks, what contextual pressures may there have been for the governor? So at this point in time when he's trying to fill the seat, Obama has recently been elected for the highest office in the nation. So there is this seat in the Senate that needs filled. And so there's a lot of pressure for the governor to get the seat filled and to keep the government of Chicago and Illinois moving forward, even though Obama had just been promoted, if you will. So again, he also wants to make more money and to have a better job. So the contextual pressures for him, both personally and occupationally, are there. So that was what we got for 3.
For question 4, what character traits did the governor lack while in office? We discussed that we thought he lacked integrity, honesty, discipline, professionalism, and respect. So really, he didn't show any positive character traits. Like it said in the reading, he was always late to meetings, and he scolded people for making very simple mistakes. So he just felt that he was better than everybody.
Yeah. Question 5 asked, how did the governor act unjustly? And to list a minimum of 2 ways. There were a lot of ways in which the governor acted unjustly in this case study. One being that he mistreated his coworkers and set expectations for them that he wasn't willing to follow. A really good example of that was when he asked, I think it was the Senate, to stay and finish a session while he went to a professional hockey match. So he wasn't willing to stay, but he asked everybody else to do so when he went and had fun. Another example of that was that he wasted taxpayers' money to receive his desired outcome. So instead of in deciding not to resign, he then wasted millions in legal fees to paralyze the state government when it was already in a state of distress. And then a third example of this would be that he held back funds for the hospital until he received the $50,000 for his own personal campaign. So basically, he bribed the people in charge of the hospital to support his campaign by withholding those funds.
And the last question, to kind of tie all of the prior 5 together, asks, what leadership ethics lessons do you learn from this case? And one of the major things we talked about is the idea that everyone is accountable regardless of your position. If you are the secretary, if you are the governor, whoever you are, like in an organization, in a government system, like you are accountable for not only your actions, but the actions of your peers. And as there are so many people interacting with leaders that act immoral and unethically, who are working like with this governor, someone should have said something, probably a lot sooner than they did. And if we are ever in a position like that, we are still responsible and should be willing to address the issues that like are taking place around us in our place of work. So that was pretty much what we learned. I think that's all. Those are all 6 questions, and I think our time is up. So we look forward to hearing from everybody else.